Hello, everybody. This is Keith, also known as Uhfgood. Um, how should I start today's um, this time's video? You can just see I posted 20 number 20 here. I'm starting to post two a day for 2 weeks, and then the rest I'm going to post for a day, provided I can come up with that many um, videos. Okay, so and then this was, yeah, let me put on my headphones. I'll leave one off, of course, so I can hear what's going on outside my room. I'm going to have to figure out how to do something about the microphone background because my air or the fan is almost always running here because I'm in Florida. Okay, so uh, what am I going to talk about today before actually getting into work? Okay, so for those that don't know, I am building a 2D point and click adventure game using all Blender if I can help it. Um, because the Blender game engine is deprecated, it's removed from Blender 2.8, I'm using Armory3D, which is pretty good. Um, this thing, you'll notice a little swimming around the edges here, and that's just because I couldn't get the settings right. I was noticing the ring, like the green screen spill thing around, so I decided to mess with it, and then that's when I kind of screwed it up. So um, I'm gonna try to play around. I got another possible source of lighting that I might try to install, but that's not really important right now. Okay, so it's too bad I can't look at the time over here on the main screen, or I can just do the thing where I drag it over and then you see me and me and me and me and me and me, so on and so forth. Um, that's kind of cool, actually. But okay, so I haven't been doing this for very long. Maybe I should take off my glasses so you can see my eyes. Even though now they look all weird, and that's the way because of my allergies and whatnot. Uh, okay, so I realize I am probably not the most entertaining person on video, and I'm still trying to figure out how I can maybe inject some personality into these videos. I mean, I can only be me, but I'm kind of boring, so I'm trying to figure something out. I can't do if I do anything goofy like funny voices or try to copy somebody, it just looks kind of silly, and not the good kind of silly. So I am still trying to figure out how to do this in a more interesting way and still not have to do a lot of editing. Now I know things would probably be more lively if I spent more time editing. Um, like for instance, if I went and started drawing something or programming or whatever, and then I sped it up with time lapse, or I put pictures, or I added some background noise or music or whatever, which I may do some of that later, but right now the focus should be on making my game. So I am going to start um, trying to make these um, as though I was doing what other YouTubers do. You know, most YouTubers, now you got the guys that like do art and programming, and they kind of do a stream. It's usually a live stream, and I'm not really set up to do a live stream exactly, although I can do them on Sundays, you know, playing the game and stuff. But this is a little bit better because if I get interrupted, I can edit things together if I need to. But I still don't want to do that. You know, I want to make my game, and I want to kind of document it with video. So, in an effort to, okay, so going back to most other YouTube channels, you know, videos of BitChute or whatever. Let's say you have a do-it-yourself project, and so they have steps like a tutorial, right? They tell you the steps, and so they'll have the script written down. They'll have the steps you need to take, and then usually what they do is, especially if they're showing you how to do it, they would do it all on video, and then they later come in with a voiceover, and they would have all of the stuff written. Or in case of some guys like the 8-bit guy who does film on his little set where he has a, you know, like a microphone overhead or whatever, and so he has a pretty good audio set up there. So sometimes he'll do voiceovers and sometimes he won't. But if you don't know who the 8-bit guy is, he fools around with retro tech, you know, old Commodore 64 stuff, and you know, basically vintage retro computers and game systems and whatnot. Sometimes he cleans them up, and sometimes he just he makes little mini documentaries about the companies or about the machines. And so he basically does what a lot of them do, and that is you have a script. So like a documentary, you do your research, and then you type out a script of things that you need to say, and then you go and you record it, and then sometimes you might say lines wrong and they redo it, and sometimes you do the voiceover, and it's a production like a regular video, like something you'd see on TV or whatever. And then there are the people that live stream, like that actually, you know, play games, and they're live, so they don't do any real editing exactly there. They just play a game, and they comment about it, or they, you know, joke, or, you know, whatever. So I'm kind of stuck in the middle here because I want to show everything I go through, and I want to handle it sort of like you would on a live stream, but at the same time, I want to pre-record it. What is that? Go moving that ways. I want to pre-record it so that if I get interrupted or there's some problem, I can go and fix it later. But it's like, okay, so how do I make it more like a produced video, but at the same time still keep it, you know, basically what it is. You know, I just work on it, and whatever mistakes, whatever boring stuff comes, it comes, right? Because I am documenting everything I do. And so one of the ways that I think I could come up with is adding it, maybe an intro and an outro to my videos. And you do that in OBS by scenes, because they have it set up to where it's primarily for live streaming, even though it's got the recording functionality. And so they have multiple scenes, so you can like put up like a card or video or a you know, picture or whatever that says "I'll be right back" or blah blah blah, whatever you want to do it. You know, or you can switch in between like different sources. You know, say you got different windows open, and each has a different kind of information. You want to switch in between them, or you want to switch in between like different cameras and stuff. So I can do the title screen thing kind of in real time without editing. Pause functionality would be nice in OBS, but I guess that's not a primary focus because, again, this is for primarily for live streaming, not for local recording. But so I can create a scene in here, and then I can use a hotkey to switch between it. Um, in fact, what I can do is I can have a hotkey to start recording and use the same hotkey to switch to like my intro scene, so that when I start recording, it automatically goes to the intro screen, and when it's done there, then it goes to my main video. So that's one of the ways that would make it look a little bit more produced and professional without having to spend copious amounts of time on the videos themselves. And another way is, obviously I can't really write down everything that is going to go into my video. I don't have a script because even though I know, I plan out stuff that I'm going to accomplish in the game, I don't necessarily know how it's going to go or how long it's going to take. In other words, if I'm drawing a picture, it could take across several videos. Now, if I were editing them, I could work on that, and it wouldn't matter how much time it took, and then I would just edit it down. I'd either time lapse it, or I'd jump cut it or whatever, and still show you the process, but I would speed it up. Now, for most people, this would be ideal. In fact, this would probably also maybe even increase viewership, because once they realize it wasn't that boring, it might be interesting to watch. More people would watch. But the only problem is the time that I have for recording these, and the time that I would have to take for editing them. There's a possibility that I could do that, because if I do this right, with maybe the exception of today, I'd only be doing them every other day, and I'd be able to edit in between times. But also at the same time, there's stuff I need to learn, so I need to go through tutorials, and I need to figure stuff out and whatnot. So I can't really do a script, a complete plan for the video, and not produce it. So either I spend time producing the video, making it snazzy, and editing together, compressing things, and doing voiceovers and whatnot, and make it really interesting. But then I wouldn't get as much time to work on my game. Or I could spend more time on my game and just try to make sure that that I'm not too boring when I make my video, which is what I'm going to try to opt into doing here. So, and then the other way to kind of be like as though I were scripting it, I can come up with a to-do list of things I want to accomplish in a video, or it's actually in my game. Like, for instance, one of the things that I was trying to do with the whole navigation mesh thing in Blender was the fact that in the game, right, a majority of it's like walking, right? So in these adventure games, you click on some place, and either a walk icon, or if it's just a single icon, it just goes there, whatever. So basically tapping on something and then having a character move to that location in order to do something. Now the navigation thing isn't working right now, or at least not properly for me, or I don't know how to use it. So I might have to write my own. So that would be like a to-do list item, allow a person to click on somewhere and have an object to move to that location. So but I wouldn't be saying I have to complete that within this one video. Just be saying that's the one of the things that I need to do, that the player needs to do. So I'm thinking of like coming up with just like a to-do list, kind of like what anybody does, anyways. You know, if you're just working on stuff, that's what you do, anyways. So I think this. So that's just basically about ways that maybe I can try to make it a little bit better, a little less boring, maybe. But still have the kind of flexibility that I need. So I will actually be starting on the to-do list and whatnot in the next video. So stay tuned for that. And so yeah, I guess I'll see you later.